For a long time, we've talked about sexual attraction like it's a single, predictable force. We assume it works exactly the same way for everyone. But to truly understand attraction, we have to look at what it isn't. Feeling deep emotional closeness, enjoying romantic affection, or even admiring someone's aesthetic beauty doesn't automatically mean you feel a sexual pull toward them. And feeling that pull doesn't dictate your life. Who you are attracted to doesn't automatically determine your values, your relationships, or your broader identity. The author notes that people experience attraction in remarkably different ways. These aren't simply variations in behavior, but differences in how that pull is felt internally. So if we want to understand how human desire actually operates, we have to drop the idea of a one-size-fits-all model. Instead, we need to map out a spectrum defined by people's actual realities. This spectrum maps the first major variable of attraction, intensity. On one side, we have allosexuality, a broad category for anyone who regularly experiences sexual attraction. On the opposite end is asexuality, a stable, consistent aspect of who they are, rather than a temporary phase. An asexual person can still pursue deep emotional intimacy, experience romantic love, and desire lifelong, meaningful partnerships. Bridging the space between these 2 points is gray sexuality. This umbrella term describes people who only feel attraction rarely, or under highly specific circumstances. By plotting intensity first, we clearly see that the basic human capacity for sexual desire is highly variable. It's not a guaranteed default for everyone. Once we know how intensely someone feels attraction, we can look at the second variable, direction. This maps who or what that pull points toward. Historically, terms like heterosexuality and homosexuality have mapped these directions. The source identifies both as naturally occurring patterns of human preference. Moving past a strict binary, we find bisexuality. This is the capacity for attraction toward more than one gender. That attraction doesn't have to be equal, and it can shift over time. Pansexuality removes the condition of gender entirely. For these individuals, personal qualities, like character, values, or shared experiences, become the focus of their attraction. Direction can also turn inward. Autosexuality describes a pattern where a person's primary desire is directed toward their own body or internal sense of self. And then there is gynosexuality. This maps attraction specifically toward femininity and feminine characteristics, regardless of the gender identity of the person feeling the attraction. Looking at these terms together, the direction of attraction is a complex math. It doesn't point in just one rigid line. The final variable is the catalyst. This diagram illustrates how specific emotional or intellectual conditions function as requirements for attraction to surface. In demisexuality, sexual attraction develops only after a significant emotional bond exists. Physical impressions alone are insufficient. Similarly, in sapiosexuality, a person's intellect, curiosity, or problem-solving skills act as the primary catalyst. The mind itself becomes the central focus of desire. These specific catalysts indicate that attraction often depends on active human engagement. By breaking attraction down into intensity, direction, and specific catalysts, one fact becomes clear. There is no single baseline for human sexuality. This text explicitly states that these varied patterns are not measures of a person's morality, their health, their maturity, or their capacity to hold a loving relationship. These terms are purely descriptive. They don't prescribe a set of rules dictating how anyone should act, live, or build a family. As our understanding of human diversity grows, our language has to keep up. Everyone deserves the tools to accurately describe their own lived reality. Defining attraction is never about forcing ourselves into rigid boxes. It's about finding the exact words we need to communicate the rich, varied spectrum of human connection.